Yesterday, Vinnova presented such a good slide of what Vinnova is doing, and I'm not going to have the same for the Swedish Research Council. But I can tell you, we are supplying about 10% of the public funded research in Sweden in funding. We are also responsible for information. We're also responsible for all the large-scale research infrastructures. And there also been a development there that the minister a couple of months ago signed a paper saying that we are allowed to give capacity to industry or sell capacity to industry. It has been very unclear in Sweden before if you can use our systems, our SNIC computers or the Max4 laboratory. Now it's clarified, yes, you can buy access to our systems. Whatever, if you want space telescopes or ships or computers, just give them a call. So I'm Magnus Friberg. I represent Sweden in quite many international organizations, and one of them is EuroHPC. And I'm going to tell you now how you can help me to engage from the Swedish side. So, the arrow, okay. Next one, yes. So here is how it works. This is complicated. I'm here, okay? You guys are here. So we need to get that thing over here. So you want things, you want to achieve things. So you have to contact someone to do this. So what I have is a reference group of good experts like Lilith and Jeanette and a few others from companies and academia. Those are your main points of entry. If you want something, you are in contact with these people when you're working. Tell them what this doesn't work and what you see for the future could work for you as in Sweden. If you want to engage with your HPC. The reference group tells me what the Swedish society wants, and I try to sort of collect all this information. But I have two other bosses, so I cannot do it myself. I have the Board for Research Infrastructures at the Research Council. They are supplying the co-funding for this project. So half of the money comes either from Vinnova or from this pot of money. And they, of course, they have their priorities and have to accept those. Also, if it's on a higher level, how to structure things, how the relations between Sweden and EuroHPC are sent, we are not allowed to decide that. That is decided by the ministries. So if there's something major to be done, I need to ask the ministry, and the ministry will tell me how to vote and how to promote this. So I'm not taking any decisions myself. I rely on what comes in here, comes from here, comes from here, and then I go to the governing board. And there we have Anders, as he says, 36 bosses. And I hope I can convince them that the proposal you have originated is a very good idea. If that happens, they will all go to Anders, and issue is resolved. And you can apply for your funding, your time, or whatever, according to the specifications that you want. So this is, in general, quickly, how the system in Sweden works. So I can tell Anders, when I say something here, it's not me talking. It's a country. Okay, so there are a few ways to engage. I think you know all of them already. The input to the Swedish priorities are here. You have the reference group with ENCCS, RISE, Vinnova, SNIC. Svarma is this university network that sort of spreads information about the course of Europe across all universities and higher education institutions. And of course, it's VR. We're also part of this reference group ourselves. So you can contact Euro. We also have Teknikföretagen there. We have Ericsson, we have Astra, a few other companies. So go to Teknikföretagen, tell them what to tell me, and then I will pass it on. But don't do this unless you want to do one of the other three. Because I don't want to spend a lot of time putting in things into the system, and no one is going to use it from Sweden. So that is very important. So there's one way to utilize the EuroHPC resources, and that is the key person here is Lilith. You go through her, you contact Lilith. This is the best way if you want to access the machines. If you apply for grants, so we have to co-fund. So it's either Sweden Research Council or Vinnova. For the moment, it's only Sweden, and we can Research Council, and we can only give money to academia. But you can work with academia in turn. So if you're in Gothenburg, work with Chalmers. Chalmers apply for money, but you are allowed to work with them. So this is a workaround for you. Here, apply direct to EuroHPC, find a consortium, that's so important, and contact VR or other funding organizations to make sure that there is co-funding around, because you need co-funding. in this type. But you also have this one. If you have your own money, or money from somewhere else, you can actually go directly to EuroHPC and you can use your own funding as co-funding. Doesn't have to be our money as co-fund. So if you have enough money yourself, want to do this project with the consortium, and want to pay half of it yourself, fine, do it. And there are occasional calls where we don't need co-funding, and there you can also apply, like you did. Yeah, but they are quite rare and quite small for the most of the time. So this is what I have to say. Very short, and I hope it was understandable.